My name is Randy Wyatt, and I am the PMO manager in the IT department. I served in the Marine Corps for 8 years.
My name is Steve Hunt. I am the solid waste utility manager for the City of Columbia. I'm a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy.
My name is Donna Watley. I'm the deputy city clerk. I enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1989. Served down in Fort Sam, which is San Antonio in Texas.
Nicholas Paul, I'm the recovery superintendent for the City of Columbia. I served in Desert Storm. I was in the 262nd Engineers, supported 24th ID going into Iraq.
I'm Jackie Wagner. I live in Columbia, Missouri, and I work for the City of Columbia as a records manager, and I do some emergency management and planning. I was in the United States Air Force back in the late 1960s, and then I served in the Iowa Air National Guard for a couple of years.
Jim Windsor, I'm the Assistant Director of Utilities. I went into the Air Force in 1970. I was in there for 5 years.
I'm Barry Dalton. I work in community relations, and I also work in public works. I was a specialist in the U.S. Army.
My name is Gerard Crum. I work with the City of Columbia Street Division. I was in the Marine Corps for 20 years and 5 months.
I'm so glad to be able to do this. This was an idea that Tony Messina had to do something just to recognize our own vets, you know, and so we're so proud to be able to do it. It's kind of neat how it's evolved each year. We're adding little elements each time, and to have the VA here this year is awesome. And I love the pictures of our folks when they were sometimes thinner and stronger than they are today. We all age, right? But it's an honor to be able to do it, and I'm profoundly grateful for the service our vets give.
There were several people who got together about 3 years ago, and we just decided that it was time for the city to recognize its employees who had served their country and who were veterans, and also give others an opportunity to thank them for that service. So this is our third event. It's gotten a little different, a little bigger every year, and I think people are really comfortable coming here and sharing their stories.
I just found myself at age 35 and thought I was too old. And a coworker of mine, Ben Roberts, who's a city employee, who was also in the Navy Reserves, told me about the Navy Reserves and about the possibility of becoming an officer because of my engineering degree. So he put me in touch with a recruiter, and kind of the rest is history.
If I had it to do over again, I would have made a career of it for 20 or 30 years. But back then, when women became pregnant, they had to get out of the service. They didn't let you stay in. And when I wanted to go back in the service, about 15 years after I had gotten out, they said I would have to give up custody of my children to go active duty. So things have really changed since the 60s and 70s, and I think for the better.
Well, in 1970, Vietnam was going on, and I was poor. I mean, my family was poor, so I didn't really have an option of going to college. And I graduated from high school 2 days before my 17th birthday. So I would have had to wait another year just to find out what my draft number was. So I decided to join the Air Force, have the least chance of being sent to Vietnam, quite frankly, and yet also be able to escape poverty.
It was a small outpost, and we were isolated, but at the same time, we were in a different type of culture. In that case, it was Turkey, so it was a moderate Muslim culture, and just being exposed at a young age to people from different backgrounds who also shared a lot in common with you as well. You can be completely different and still have a lot of common ground, and so that was an experience, just learning about another culture.
I made the first Gulf War when he invaded Kuwait back in 1990. We went over probably, I think it was in the July, middle part of July. I didn't make it home until April that following year. My daughter was 5. Oh, excuse me. She was 5 years old at the time. We went through some experiences. My wife, she went through some experience. So that's what I'm saying. I'm very passionate about. I hope you don't ever use that, you know. But I'm glad I went. I'm glad I did serve my country, you know, when I was called upon. And like I said, I hope these young kids went through that. And if I had to, I would go before I was a 19-year-old, because I know what it's like.